Welcome to the Galen Trombley Show. You can find me on Facebook at Galen Trombley, on Instagram at Galen Trombley, and on YouTube at Galen Trombley. Spelling GaelanTrombley. Enjoy the show. Welcome to the Galen Trombley Show. Welcome to episode 160 of the Galen Trombley Show. I'm actually very excited today. This is going to be new. We just kind of talked off air, but I'm going to learn a lot about these ladies. But Julia Devine and Amy Guglielmo from Outside Art, they're both here. And if anybody has not seen, I guess, your production or sometimes art out and about in the community, it's starting to spring up almost every street corner, and it's really cool, and it's brightening up Plattsburgh. And I like driving by the one down here. You guys just about a month ago you finished up, maybe?
Yeah, it was a 2001 summer project.
Yeah, and it was a lot of people. Every day I drove by, there's people out in scaffolding, painting, and drawing and everything else. And it's a very kind of looks like an Alice in Wonderland kind of theme. Yeah. There's a lot of like whimsical kind of drawings up there, but like I said, it's just kind of cool, bright spot as you drive to the office every morning. You get to see, and I think it's really neat, and everything else you guys are doing. So for people who do not know one or both of you, we'll start off with Julia. Just give us kind of a quick background, who you are, how'd you get to, I guess, Plattsburgh in 2021 and getting part of Outside Art?
Plattsburgh in 2021. So I'm Julia Devine, and I moved to Plattsburgh about 10 years ago. Oh my goodness, in 2011 from Los Angeles, California. But I grew up in Philadelphia. And it's funny, when we left Los Angeles that summer, we came here. I think it was Hurricane Sandy, and there was actually an earthquake in Plattsburgh. And I was really shocked coming from California. I thought I was going to leave that, but it's never happened since. I think it was just like a warm welcome to Plattsburgh. And I remember our garbage man said, "Why would you ever move here?" And I was like, well, this is a beautiful part of the country. And we moved here. My husband is a professor of English at SUNY Plattsburgh. And I also teach at SUNY Plattsburgh in theater and English departments. And I also work next door here at the train station with Lamonto Provost. And I am a musician and director. And I have 4 little kids who are enjoying growing up in this wonderful community. And I met Amy in 2014, perhaps. And we both have a cultured arts background, and we wanted to work together, and this sort of all happened organically, which we'll talk about in a little bit.
Perfect.
And I'm Amy Guglielmo. I was born and raised in Plattsburgh, New York, product of Plattsburgh City Schools, and then couldn't wait to get out of here and go explore the world. But I did grow up in a really artsy family and artsy community. I was lucky. There were a lot of art programs and great art teachers that sort of sparked my interest. My mom's also an artist. And my dad's super handy with woodworking and carpentry skills. So, it was always something that was around me as a kid, just the idea that you can make and sort of do anything. And this community really fostered that creativity as well. So I left for about 20 years, New York, California, Costa Rica, and then came back here to teach in public schools and with an art educator at Saranac. And I'm a children's book author. I write about artists and also a painter. And I guess
we wear a lot of hats.
We do a lot.
That's why we can get a lot of stuff done.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
I'm sure I'm missing something, but
I know, me too.
But that's it.
Well, like I said, both of those I had like a little bio about it, and I checked out your website, and there's plenty of stuff on there. But so, did you guys both grow up? I mean, you said, like I said, obviously your parents are.
Yeah.
I know your mom and dad, and I love seeing your mom's stuff. Yeah, I try not to hit their house when I golf, but I always go by, and your mom was showing me cool things she did with golf balls and stuff.
I know you. It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah, she's very, very talented, and so you came up with a young age with art. Same for you, Julia?
Yeah, my mom was a college teacher in Philadelphia, and the college in the summer had this really wonderful arts camp where we did everything like theater, music, ceramics, dance, and that sort of fostered my love of arts. And then I was pianist, and I was on music scholarship in high school, and I was always involved in like theater. My brother is a professional painter, and he's represented by a gallery in Denver. So I guess my parents weren't in the arts. My mom was a sociologist and lawyer and criminal justice professor, and my dad was a physical therapist. And then they have these two really artistic children. And I love the arts. Yeah.
So what do you guys get out of art? Like, what's the draw? Like, why are you so drawn into art and or different phases of art, or even music?
Well, I think it connects us. It makes us more human. I think it's a mistake when, like, especially educational institutions move away from valuing arts as part of their education. I think it's sort of a great glue that brings everyone together, whether you're going to go into the arts or not. I think it's a really powerful way for people to express themselves and for us to interpret the world. So I think it's really important. I say that now too, just teaching at an institution that's definitely turning in a very STEM direction. I think we need, like, the STEAM, like the A really needs to be part of our future in science, technology, and engineering and all of that, because art helps us find our way.
I think it's true. Like, art is everywhere, right? Everything. You can find beauty in clouds. You can find beauty everywhere. But I really like to remind my students that, like, the table you're sitting at, an artist made that. The phone that you're pretending not to use below the desk is an artist made that. The shoes you're wearing, the shirt you're wearing, everything is made by artists. So the idea that it's something that's esoteric or just made to entertain us is art is functional. And I think something like outside art actually provides a real function in our community by enlightening, educating, and bringing beauty, but also building community and sparking interest. And I think all that's really important. That's what art can do. And that's sort of, I've always been I had this craving to make stuff and to do stuff. And I think the art is my weapon of choice to make a difference.
Do you guys find it, anytime I've done art, I love art. I'm not, I'm okay, but not like you guys. I'm like, I could do, but anytime I draw, or if I was to paint, or if I was to do something, I used to do pottery back in the day in high school. Right. It was very therapeutic. It was like, you could just kind of do it, let your mind go. And even if it wasn't great, it was still fun to kind of morph something into, something that was usable. Or if you draw, like I remember I used to draw just like cartoons. It wouldn't trace them, but you'd try to redraw them. And it was just fun to kind of color them in and make it like, oh, that actually kind of looks like the person that did it. But it takes your mind off of stuff for an hour or 2 hours or whatever, and allows you just to kind of escape into this, for me, whether it was a pen and paper, it just lets you to escape in this little world of.
It tickles a different part of the brain. I think that's the thing, that it is such an escape for people, because you're using something that you might not use on a daily basis. And I think that's what's so exciting to people is, right, they find joy and sort of comfort in making art. And the same thing for, like, you're participating in the art if you're looking at art too. That's you're using your brain to do that.
Well, it's very empowering, just like you said, like making stuff when you were a kid. I mean, being the creator, being creative, I think that can translate into so many other areas in your life in terms of problem solving or looking at something in a different way. I think art just will, like, shift you out of maybe your daily life, out of your habits, can shift your perspective. I mean, we've talked about that. Art is your weapon of choice, Amy. Art can, make change. Art is therapeutic. Art can do a lot of things. It's a great tool for, again, human beings to express themselves and to communicate with each other. And sometimes when we're dealing with, like, difficult issues, I think art is a great way, an entryway into solving those problems or issues. It should be like a companion to everything almost, because I think it's a great way for people to feel comfortable, to feel like their voice is heard. Just in Plattsburgh, you were saying about you want to make things. Like, moving here, I haven't only lived in big cities. This was my first small town experience. At first, some people have been here for a while. Some people want to leave. You meet all sorts of people. People are jaded and want to get out of here, or people are just, happy raising their families. I found it very exciting because it was a place where there was still possibilities in a way. In some of these other big cities, everything's already made up, everything's already done. This is a great place for people to come and like want to make something, want to try something. There's room for you. So I think outside art came out of that too, of like, there's all these empty walls, you know,
There are opportunities
there's
galore.
there's tons of opportunities here. And for anyone who's traveled, you've seen that in other places, and that's probably, how did that make you feel when you saw a mural in somewhere else? It made you feel welcome. It made you feel like, oh, this place is exciting. This place has something, right?
Well, I was going to say, when you say perfect example is a blank canvas, you drive out, there's like, I guess for you, it must be looking at like, oh my God, there's canvas I can paint on, and it's this massive wall. But so outside art, did you both like founded it back? Was it 2016? I think I read, but that was both of you, or did you kind of join forces at that to start?
Julia approached me, but yes, we
sort of formalized it. I was doing this creative community fellowship where I was working with like 50 other people across the country virtually. And then we like met in Seattle, and it was really giving you the tools to start something. It was culture makers, change makers in their community, all different kinds of artists or people working in other kinds of organizations, and how they were making their communities better. So I felt empowered to, well, let's formalize this. I had worked on the Mountain Lake Mandala with Mountain Lake PBS and SUNY Plattsburgh, and I had organized all the community tile making events. So over 300 community members made tiles for the mandala, which is, you know, outside of our house bistro. And just seeing the response from the community, it was like really inspiring. And then Amy, with Shauna Armstrong, you had organized the Battle of Plattsburgh mural on the side of 30 City Hall Place. And then we just said, we should do this. We should
keep going.
Yeah, keep going. So we sort of formalized it in a way, gave ourselves a name, and applied for a grant the second time, because the first time we applied, we didn't get it. And then the rest is...
Right. And part of it was really educating the community. Once the PBS Mountain Lake Mandala hit the walls, people are like, ooh, what's this? This is exciting and interesting. How do we make more? And that's sort of, we took that momentum and sort of ran with it.
So I guess describe outside art. Like, how do you said you're the producers of it. So kind of talk a little bit about that.
Sure. So basically, people will come to us with walls, or there's a wall that, you know, we think a mural would be great on. And so it sort of works both ways. And then we connect sort of artists to the walls. We raise the money. We deal with the logistics issues in terms of preparing the wall and providing the paint. We are a partnership. We're not a nonprofit, but we partner with nonprofits for our fiscal sponsor, for us to be able to like produce the whole thing. So say if you want a mural on a wall, you can hire outside art to produce the whole thing for you.
So, right, you need like a few things. You need an artist, you need a wall, you need materials, you need funding. And we sort of make all that work together. I'm the one that's on the lift, running the actual lift with my pink sunglasses. And I actually do a lot of the painting as well. And we have a really nice team of artists. We are always like welcoming new artists and looking at new opportunities and searching. You know, we can't really walk around downtown without saying, "Oh, this would be there's a spot and there's another spot." And
so when you're putting the murals on a wall, some of these are obviously privately owned. So I mean, are the owners of these properties inviting or like welcoming? Hey, we'd love to have you dress up our place a little bit.
Yeah, mostly, right.
Mostly,
so they're all privately owned, I think.
Yes, this is why we've had so much success, I think, is working with like a city or municipality owned building. There's going to be a lot more red tape. Mm-hmm. So with a private owner, you have a little more freedom and leeway. And it's sort of, again, like Amy and I, this just sort of has organically grown. I don't think we ever expected, I mean, I didn't, that we'd have 15 murals 5 years later, and we get requests all the time. So there hasn't been, we haven't had any major challenges of like needing to get a wall and the wall hasn't come through. I just remember in the beginning though, during the Mountain Lake Mandala mural, I had to convince the owner of that building, that it would be okay to put the mandala there. And at first, there was a lot of hesitancy and didn't understand, but I know that person now is totally on board and gets it. And I think since then, it's been more of like so many people want a mural, or they give us ideas, or like, you should do this and that. And we'd love to, but again, we're just two people. And we always say we don't own the corner of public art in the city at all. We hope that we've, sort of paved the way or opened the doors for just art to be a normal part of our city now.
Yeah.
Well,
I always look at the one that you just described. I mean, I've seen it in so many backgrounds of Instagram posts because people get photos in front, which is great. They're spreading that. And then the one just right outside Ashley's Furniture was the same thing. You always drive by and there's people getting photos out there, tourists.
And stuff. The new one, the new garden mural that you mentioned earlier, it's so funny. Everyone's doing back to school pictures and senior portraits. And that's a real hot spot for senior portraits.
Love it.
And hopefully, I'm hoping to get some prom photos.
Maybe some weddings.
Yeah. It is a great background. And, what a cool thing to be able to do that in Plattsburgh.
I was looking at the photo. Did you do like a miniature scavenger hunt on there?
We did.
Okay.
So I think bugs, mushrooms, cats, definitely cats, because it's on the Cat's Meow thrift store. So it's just a little nod. We like to recognize the places, and some of it is very strategic where we place things and what we, it's nice to see the Jean Arthur mural near the Strand Art Center. We like to think that all of these fit into a sort of a place and time.
So when you guys find a wall, who makes the decision of what the mural is going to be? Is it the artist, that the person that owns the building?
It's gone both ways. So for instance, with the Jean Arthur mural and the Michael Anderson mural, they're both painted by Brendan Palmer Angel, who is originally from Plattsburgh and he lives in New Orleans now. And he's apprenticed with like German mural artists, and he's very gifted in that medium.
Yeah.
We had the idea for Jean Arthur. That was Amy's idea, and then Michael Anderson was suggested to us. And then we talked to Brendan because he's a wonderful portrait
And he had
artist.
actually reached out to us to see if there was anything he could do. And, after we saw his work, we're like, yeah. Please.
Oh, he's incredible. Both those murals are like, they're almost like so real, like they're coming off the wall.
And we're hoping for
more.
For another one next summer.
He just completed one in Malone as well that we should mention. So the idea that one of the things in our mission is that not only do we celebrate and promote our murals and artists, we promote the arts as well. So we are like happy to share anything that Brendan does or any other public art that we see. It's a nice way to educate people about what's going on.
So both Jean Arthur, she was an actress from Plattsburgh, right?
Yeah, she was born in Plattsburgh, but then she moved,
yes.
I think. But it's pretty amazing. If you've seen any Jean Arthur movies, you might not be like, what, 1930s Hollywood? What is there to see? She's incredibly funny. So I think having her being born in Plattsburgh, we should be really proud because she's so hilarious
and talented. And it's nice to recognize a woman in the arts and celebrate the arts. So I think it's really important.
Well, it's this one's when you, because it's in a spot that it's not very high foot traffic.
Yeah.
So, but when you see it, it almost catches you off guard because you're like,
wow.
What is this thing?
Right.
It's amazing.
Well, when Amy said we do things strategically, there is a reason that we do have some hidden murals. So not only Jean Arthur in Protection Alley, there's also the Harvest mural by Garon Burton, which is behind the co-op in that little parking lot area, behind Iris's. It's like the secret spaces of Plattsburgh, and the idea.
You go down by the water there, by the river?
Well, so if you go, down these like two little tunnels.
Yep.
And I guess it's near the river. But the idea is that in the future, the murals are there. Perhaps these spaces could be, be alleyways that come alive with, little cafes or restaurants. Yeah. Or, I think about the Michael Anderson mural was there before the Arts Park.
Right.
And now it fits in really great.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I think that hopefully that's sort of going ahead and saying, hey.
Yeah. So sort of it works like, to go back to your original question, like which comes first, the chicken or the egg?
Yeah.
So it's sort of both. And for some reason, it always works out the way, whether it's someone coming to us with an idea, an artist with an idea, like where can that go? for the garden mural, I wanted to do a community garden mural. After last summer, we had such success with the migrations mural that included over 50 artists, including Plattsburgh State International students.
And where was that one?
That's on Court Street, 17 Court Street, across from Trinity Park. And
oh yes.
So
by the one by the bookstore.
Yes,
right on the wall there.
Yes,
okay.
Around the corner from that. So there is one on the Woods and Wild Things, which was one of our early murals.
Early ones by Norman and Tori Tabor, who are
right on the side of the bookstore. But if you keep going down Court Street, you'll find there's a tree with 50 plus different birds from representing people from all over in our community. But that was such a nice process to have, especially during the pandemic, because it's an activity that you could do safely outside, and you can still see everything outside safely. So we knew we wanted to do that again, and include a lot of different artists and flowers, and a garden was like the perfect tool.
So what is the vision for outside art, like going forward? Like, obviously you just talked about potentially opening up spaces that might be a little more lively in the future, but do you guys have any byproducts of what you're trying to do right now? Like maybe long term?
Well, I mean, since we did the migrations mural last year in the community garden, this one, we thought it's really nice to always have a community one where different local artists can be part of making the mural, and then coupled with maybe a large scale, more single artist piece with Brendan or an artist that's not from here. So we sort of are bringing new people in and also celebrating our local artists. I think, moving forward in the future, Amy and I are very busy people. And so whether we keep up this momentum or we get more support from, say, the city, we've done so much for the city. And you could see sort of funding or just making our lives, I guess, a little easier, where we get a little more support to make this happen. Is this part of, a city program? I would love to see it continue, whether it's Amy and me or not. It's hard to say. We never planned. We never did
and we never planned, opportunities sort of
they
find
just
us.
find us. Yeah. So
you're just kind of riding the wave right now. It's fun.
I think so.
Exactly.
There's so much excitement, and everyone's always asking, "What's next? What's next?"
Yeah.
But we were really lucky to have the county health department had a wonderful grant this year, and we applied with other groups for a bunch of them and got them all. So we didn't expect to create so much art this summer, and it was really incredible. We hope we have an opportunity like that again.
That was perfect. Yeah, because the Clinton County Health Department had all these grants for businesses and organizations to animate their spaces in different ways, whether it's painting sidewalks or a mural or
the bike racks,
the bike racks
that are so fabulous.
And so it was a great way for organizations or businesses to partner with us, and they could write us into the grant, and we could make it happen for them. So it was a really great model.
But we also really like to keep people guessing and surprise people and keep some things we have ideas, and we get people contacting us, and we're a little picky. I would say a lot picky, and
picky on location or picky on what's going to go there?
On
both.
everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
We want to keep a certain aesthetic and a level, and it's really important for us. Our artists get paid, and we're not doing anything commercial. That's one of the things when it comes to creating art. We want it to be for everyone and inclusive and really positive. But I think we also like to surprise people and be like, "What? When did that happen? What's happening?" We like that mystery and excitement.
Have you ever, or could you paint something where you kind of block it off where nobody can see it until it's done, and they just pull down the curtain?
That would be really, really cool.
They put lights up and stuff and try to paint at night in the dark.
I know when we do our unveilings, it's not like we're pulling off a big sheet off the wall. But we cut a ribbon.
That there are eyes everywhere in Plattsburgh. That's one of the things. What's going on here? I saw this.
Yeah.
What's that? Do you know anything about this? My mom actually did a little pop-up mural in the last couple of weeks, and people were writing me nobody told us about this. What's going on?
Was that the one on Oak Street?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cute little one on Oak
Isn't that
Street.
great? Though?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, what's
so it's
that?
like a bonus, and right, and how much how much notice do people need? And I sort of like people discovering things and think, oh, I saw something happening. What's happening?
That's how I find out. I mean, you just drive around, but it's like,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't take the same path every day, and all of a sudden you take this back, like, wait, they put another one up. But I mean, now following you a little bit on social media, like you kind of see it a little bit, but it was like the one, was it South Peru Street or Platt Street? What was the one you guys did down
With the fire station?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really great.
Because that one popped up pretty quick too, but that was a community effort.
Yes, and it was so nice to have the fire station help out. They had the ladder trucks. I know there's a fancier name for ladder
bucket
truck.
truck.
Bucket.
Yeah.
There's something, but it was so nice of them to be out there, and they were really concerned they were going to mess it up, but they were really good about coloring the lines.
I was gonna say, like, just put it up. It's like, just paint inside this.
Yeah, no, they were amazing, and it was such a nice. Right, so that sort of kicked off our season, and we sort of wrap it up when it starts to get cold.
And that was a partnership with the New York State Art Teachers Association, NYSATA, right?
And the fire station and the health department.
Yeah.
So, how many more are you doing? Any more actively right now? Any that maybe it's not secret? If it's secret,
we do have a mini one. Actually, if you go outside, you can peek. That we have a little mini one that we did actually get permission from the city to do. And I'd like to do more of these little
tiny secret things that pop up.
So it's our first adventure in what we're calling Platt's Curb. We're animating the curbs with a bassberg. So there's a little bass trail that leads from the marina to the arts park. And we're doing so it's really funny. Andrew McGill had the idea of doing like little stuff, and it's fish that say Plattsburgh. And you can follow the fish, and they will lead you from the marina.
Are you guys trying to turn this maybe into a scavenger hunt in the future, or do some kind of maybe fun, like something fun around it?
Yeah, we love the idea of using art for wayfinding and having things. We were talking about Andrew and I were a little punchy the other day when we were inhaling all the spray paint fumes. We were talking about having like zombie carrots that lead you to the to the farmer's market or something.
Yeah, we could do all sorts of different little curb arts that lead you different places.
Right.
You know, like outside for you could have some shamrocks.
Just like I was gonna say, like Yellow Brick Road, just a bunch of shamrocks all around.
Yeah,
you gotta get Andy and Hannah on something, kind of decorate.
Well, they can have the pot of gold.
There you go. I love it.
Put Andy as a leprechaun. He's got enough energy.
That happens.
So when you talking about the curb art, is that on top or is that on the side of the curb?
A little bit of both. And
does that make the angle a little hard to try to paint?
Experimenting. We're trying it. Yeah, it is both. So it'll look like they're like swimming, but we want pedestrians to see it, and maybe we'll do a salmon run coming back down. We'll figure it out. But it's been really fun working with that scale.
And I'm guessing the city's been very supportive in a lot of this.
Yes,
they're really supportive. Good. They've been really supportive, and we're bugging them about more opportunities for crosswalks and electrical boxes. If you look around, there's so many sort of spaces, and it doesn't have to be big spaces. It can be little things.
Just little things.
Well, that's the thing I think I like the most is the vision you guys have, just to pick something that looks bland, like to the naked eye, and then you're kind of like a trained eye for you guys to look at it like, no, that's a work of art. We can make that into something.
You'll start noticing stuff too. Now that we're talking about it, you'll be like, oh, look, there's a
what's that, the reticular activator, whatever. You start going out and start seeing all the bass everywhere.
Yeah.
Right.
And then more people might want to like make their places colorful too.
Right.
I mean, we do spend 6 months out of the year here, and it's pretty cold and gray. We might as well make it more fun by what we see in our,
add a little personality to the north country.
Yeah.
So what about the art park? That's I say fairly new, but you just did the ribbon cutting. Was it last week before?
Yeah.
September 11th during the Battle Plattsburgh weekend.
And that was, so it's the Betty Little Arts Park.
Yes.
Is this the correct term?
Yes.
Okay. So kind of explain that or that whole project.
Well, that is not our project. We are a part of that project, right? That was part of the downtown revitalization grant money from Cuomo, was this arts park. And I know the city partnered with Saratoga and Associates, who did the design of the park. And I think they did a wonderful job. But Amy and I were invited to be part of a group when they had a request for sculptures for the park. And so we were on a committee that helped look at the sculptures and decided the sculptures.
And hopefully, I think that we've been invited to do something with a splash pad.
Yes.
And add some colors, and so we'll maybe put a little magic.
That's
down.
right.
I saw a cactus out there. Is that?
Yes.
Was that one of the ones you picked?
Yes.
Of course.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's interactive. So that's also Andrew McGill, who's doing the Bassberg, who's doing
Okay.
the fish.
Well, so there's a splash park, and there's obviously landscaping. There's
Yeah.
picnic tables out there now.
Yeah.
What else is in that? I haven't walked through it yet. I've driven
Yeah.
by it, and it looks much nicer than it
Yeah.
did before. So
So we're hoping actually to get some more interactive sculptures. Since everything's on loan right now, as we move forward, it would be nice to have maybe some art that you could climb on, like a sculpture or something that was,
Something
part of
for
a
kids
playground.
to climb.
could you rotate it out? You said it's on loan, so
It is, and I think that's one of the plans is to rotate it out. Although that might, it would be nice to have some things that are permanent as well.
Yeah. So a mixture of permanent sculptures and then different artists that come in, which is a great way to bring people into the community. And
are there plans? Yeah, you obviously have the mural right there on the side, but
Mm-hmm.
is there plans to finish off anything mural wise up there? Because you still have kind of a strip that
yeah,
goes across.
yeah.
We
We did have some ideas that we
have
were
some
talking
ideas.
about.
We always have ideas,
Yeah.
and there's some other walls on the other side that we're
Yes.
like thinking about as well. But there are always, possibilities for more.
Because it's just, I mean, like I said, it's Arts Park, so it's just
Yeah.
as cool if
Yes.
it's just littered with art all over the place.
know.
And
Absolutely.
kind of go through like like I said, almost like a color, like a rainbow. You just like splash
Yeah.
through it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yes.
walk through and like confetti goes
Yeah.
on you. And, like,
I just saying it's like kind of like Willy Wonka. It's like you go
Yes.
through the river, all the colors are all
Yes,
everywhere. And
that's-
gobstoppers and
We want to, yes, we would like to get our hands on a few other places in there.
yeah.
So how do you get the artists to like? What's the process of bringing the guy who did the Jean Arthur mural and or just local artists? Like obviously your parents have done some stuff, but is it people you know? Is it people that apply? Is it people you just kind of go kind of sniff out and find out someone who's good?
I mean, it's a mixture of both.
Yeah.
We've actually never have had to really seek out artists yet.
We did work with, we did a project with 80K Action in Keysville
Yes.
this year, and that was nice to reach out to some new artists from
Yes.
Saranac Lake area and Vermont. We did a really nice project with them, a 90-foot mural in the middle of downtown Keysville.
Goes down the brick wall.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
and community as
Yeah.
well. So that sort of took us out of Plattsburgh a little bit.
Which was nice.
And that was, we did search a little bit for that.
That's right. We did.
But that was really, but now we have, more people in our,
Mm-hmm.
in our bag of tricks to choose from.
Well, it's like we have like a whole community and roster of artists, and we're always welcoming and opening our doors to any artist that wants to get involved, and depending on the number of projects. But also, there's some artists can just run with a project and a wall on their own with someone else. Like we don't need to be there to do that. So hopefully, we're also, connecting artists to other projects that we're not even a part of.
Right.
But that's why we love this idea of a community mural, a kind of community mural every summer for all sort of what we call them our Plattsburghers from the migrations mural, that they can be a part of it and work together.
So when the art's going on, there's not a lot of, supervising on your part. It's more of you kind of just say, hey, here's your wall.
We just make it look like there's not. I would say, everyone wants to participate in this, and I don't think that people understand how much time and effort goes into make, like, oh, that just popped up and it was started and finished in 2 weeks. And I
Yeah.
always say, well, 2 weeks and 2 years.
Yeah.
The behind the scenes is really a lot. For every hour we have community members painting, it's 30 hours of time for Julia and I to prepare. So the idea that it looks like, oh, well, I can just show up for an hour and paint my thing and go is really not true. So it looks like we're there.
So no. So what's
Yeah.
the process? It was like, what's the stuff we don't see? Because you
You
just
don't
said that,
see
and that
it,
sounds
right.
shocking to me. So
Yeah.
like, what's the process that those 30 hours,
Well,
30 to 1
First
hour
of all, we
ratio?
have to find the wall, the artist, the funding. We write grants. We're starting sort of grant season.
Yeah.
So something that we're planning next summer or the summer after, we have to start raising money for now.
Yeah. And
So
we have-
and the permissions and all of that.
Yeah. So for we have a season of making the art, which is when it's good weather. Let's say May through September, and then the other times it's raising money, getting some artist sketches, getting permissions from walls, figuring out do these walls need work, a lot of coordination and meetings and things that lead up to when the actual painting time. Leading up to that is so much more time than the actual painting time, or depending on the nature of the piece. When it's a community mural, there always needs to be someone there sort of supervising and with the supplies. And when it's working with someone like Brendan, we sort of check in and make sure everything's okay for him and he has what he needs, but we don't need to like stand and supervise the whole time. But, when working with like an artist like Brendan, we have to look at sketches. He does research, coordinate with different people. Like the biggest thing right now coming up are raising money and coordinating some space issues.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's always something going on, but I think, it's nice that people think, oh, that just happened in 2 weeks.
Well, you don't want to see all that work.
You want to see like the behind the scenes, but it's sort of like 24/7 when a mural's going on.
The iceberg analogy where you only see the tip of the iceberg outside the water.
Yeah,
and underneath is like 90%.
Yeah.
So when before the art goes up, when you talk about prepping, are you talking with the artist, talking about what they're painting, talking about how they're going to paint it? Do you guys step in and make any changes or suggest any changes?
Well, it depends. For example, with Brendan, like he always has a sketch and he starts working and then he'll be like, oh, it was really interesting with the Michael Anderson mural because Colonel Joe McNichols from the Plattsburgh Air Force Base Museum said, hey, pilots are always shown with their vessels. Yeah. And he really insisted that the space shuttle be part of the artwork, and it wasn't originally planned. And of course, like getting educated about that, Brendan was very positive about doing that. He was really excited about it. So it was something that we didn't know, and so that sort of changed in the moment.
So that's like the spaceship flying around the moon in the corner?
Yep.
Okay. Which I think adds to it.
Of course.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. It's really cool, especially to see that, and they want to be celebrated for that's a big deal.
And So when you're doing, there's not a lot of change on your part. It's more of like.
So
it depends.
It depends on the garden mural. As we had 5 lead artists working on the garden mural, it's a huge space. As we were making stuff, we're like, oh, we need some more red here, or something, maybe some tulips. Like as we started with an idea, and as it got filled in, we worked together to sort of decide what it needed. So something like that with the bird mural, some of the community garden murals that are a little, I guess, freer. We filled in what we needed.
But you started with like a mock-up and an outline.
Yeah.
We always do a mock-up of what it will look like on the wall. Especially when we apply for grants, we have to sort of show, a sketch or possibly what it would look like. And then for the community murals, you'll look at that and then you fill in all the individual artists' work. So it's a little different when you're working with a single artist. We're going to see sketches and see, what works and what doesn't work. So it's more of like a collaborative process.
It's always collaborative.
Yeah, we're never like, no, we don't like that color.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of free reign then for the artists to kind of just put their own expression up.
Yes, very collaborative, and we're very supportive. And
So how's again, my art knowledge is very limited. Like if you were to let's take the Jean Arthur mural, because I'm just looking at it right now.
Yeah.
How do you go from a sketch, how hard is it to go from probably a piece of paper that he sketched it out on to something that's
we can't reveal
30 or 40? Is there like a weird, how many times does he have to get off the scaffolding, like go step back and look up?
So he was lucky on that one. Actually, he had a boom lift, so he could swing out and step back and look. But we always, we not always, but sometimes we'll project the image. So in the middle of the night, we call ourselves the art ninjas.
The Batman symbol?
Yeah, we do. We project the image to
funny.
outline it and spray paint it, and just to create a little guide.
Yeah.
At least the boundary line, almost like doing a puzzle, getting all the outsides done first.
Yep, and that's really helpful for him. But Brendan's a pro; he knows what he's doing, and he honestly won't reveal all the secrets. So you can try to ask.
It's just amazing how you can blow it up that big.
Yeah.
Considering that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just in my head, I'm like, if he's doing, say, her hat or her forehead.
Yeah.
When he's actually up there, he's like a speck on that wall.
Exactly.
And it's like I'm just doing black, and then I'm like, I don't know what shade, and then you got to jump back really to like appreciate all the difference in color.
That one was interesting because he actually had spray painted all these codes, and he said it was a technique that he was trying, and he had like symbols. It was like upside down question marks and curly Q's, and he knew what they meant, and he was the only person who knew what they meant, and there was some sort of symbol that he was using, and it was funny for people. What does that mean? I'm like, I don't know.
So from an artist perspective, there's a lot of different ways of going about art and how they like you said, symbols or way that he has kind of a cheat sheet for them.
Yeah.
And he's probably our most experienced large-scale artist that we've worked with. We'd like to also provide opportunities to do mural for artists, but maybe this is their first time putting a mural on a wall. And so there's different techniques because it's hard to sort of expand a painting.
Right. And might not always translate. I mean, I think when you're like what people see, a lot of times it has to be big and bold in order
and simple,
right, to be recognized.
Is too much detail a bad thing on big murals?
For me, too much detail, I think, takes away from the large impact.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it works when we have our community murals because you have a large sort of scene and then you're filling it in.
And also you can get close and find different things.
Yeah.
Like it's nice with the garden where you can see the sun almost ever. You can see the sun going over the bridge. You can see the sun from all different from Oak Street. It's so funny. The sun's but then to get close and see the little bugs.
Well, you said it's almost like the I Spy books back in the day.
Yeah.
You kind of look and find there's that kind of flower. There's a little cat flying flying through the air on what. So, is it now? What can we see more? I think you kind of touched on a few things, but you have the wall murals, but you talked about the sidewalks, talked about the curbs, talked about the bike racks. Is there anything else you guys have in your mind of things you would like to paint? Okay, I know you got ideas, so I'm sure you thought about.
I'm looking at the sewage water treatment center right now.
I think we should just.
I would love to see that.
I know.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I know that's one of the things we've been approached about, in the past. But I also think there are a lot of opportunities. There's stairs. I've seen a lot of municipalities have done really cool things with stairs. I think I'm hoping for a lot of little things too. Not just the big things, but maybe some of the birds escape from the bird mural and some of the flowers escape from the garden mural. And we see some of these things carry us through downtown. There are a lot of walls and, I'm hoping that we get some calls from people. What we would really like is if people are I have a building and I don't have an idea, just go wild. And that doesn't always happen.
Yes.
We've turned down some walls where people have something that they'd like to see that really doesn't fit our vision necessarily. So we'd love to get some people to be like, hey, do whatever you want. We trust you.
We'd obviously provide some sketches
and
ideas first.
What's the vision for what you guys want? What's your kind of theme or what?
Every
what would,
blank wall in Plattsburgh
Amy said, paint the town.
Paint the town.
But what kind of art would pass as that's something that we would approve versus something that you want to. You don't have to say the ones you would disapprove, but what kind of fits in the mold of where you really want?
I think that's a hard question because I don't think Amy and I see ourselves as the arbiters and judges of art.
Right.
I mean, we have certain tastes and style, and I think we want things to be positive and welcoming and to reach a wide audience and not exclude certain audiences. So we do shy away from maybe anything that's very political on purpose. And we thought about that in the beginning because we thought that would be a good way for Plattsburgh to welcome the idea of art on a wall, which might be really crazy to some people. So
and also things that have there's some things that have been done already, and maybe let's look at other things, stuff that's been done and done and done and done. And a lot of downtown's filled with monuments and things that recognize Plattsburgh's history, but not all of the history. And I think Julia was involved with a great project this summer that she can talk about. But I think it was really important to sort of shift whose place is this and whose stories are we telling? It's really interesting and important. So go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I guess, since we do have such history here, I also see outside art providing sort of new monuments, so to speak, in quotations for the 21st century. Well, no, just the idea of that, a mural is a memory. We're creating new sort of memories for the 21st century that maybe is not a Samuel Day Champlain monument, but it is a mural with cats or, it's sort of we're creating a new history. And so Outside Art partnered with this Giagenta, which is a Mohawk name for Plattsburgh, which means where one scoops up water. We collaborated with this Giagenta Plattsburgh Art Project, which was a mix of Mohawk and non-Mohawk people. We received funding from the Clinton County Health Department and the Charles Wood Foundation and the Price Chopper Golub Foundation. These were all grants that I wrote for the group, and we worked with a Mohawk potter, Natasha Smoke Santiago, and she created a turtle, which is at Peace Point, Harborside, Plattsburgh, which is right by the water, and it symbolizes the Mohawk creation story. And there's going to be 2 more sculptures that are coming, and in the future that could be a place where we can have indigenous ceremonies, and it's right across from where the Samuel de Champlain monument. So I know some people are like, tear down the monument. Well, instead of tearing it down, we can just create another piece that's in conversation with that. And so, again, with making things fun and playful, also we can have murals that are, giving voices to other people in the community or other works of art. I know Brendan has been interested in doing a mural on the Underground Railroad as well. So
our idea is to just keep animating Plattsburgh, keep painting the town, encouraging others to do so. This is just the start of things.
Yeah, so, to care for your property, right? You can put some colorful flowers. Maybe you want some bright paint on your building, even homes, right, in the community.
I was gonna say, have you thought about doing? I mean, I know most of them are kind of in the city, but have you private residence where you just go to people's houses and paint the fence, or paint like a couple columns, or paint the steps, or
I guess we'd really have to start a business
or
with the
door.
Plattsburghers.
Like we see houses, but like you go, like I love seeing houses. They just have like a bright like yellow door or a bright blue door or something that just sticks out.
Maybe it'll inspire people to do that. I think some of it is things that we can do, but also hopefully we empower people to take some initiative and do these things. We were lucky. Les Cosgrove has done a lot of work with us, and she did work at Clinton County Mental Health and Addiction Services and Children's Advocacy Service. She actually did paint the fence there, and it's gorgeous.
It's beautiful.
And it really changed the property. It really made the whole thing, it feels very welcoming. So I think in general, we're just getting started, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're just getting started. I think the town's just getting started, and whatever happens, we'll encourage and support it.
Well, I think in the last couple of years, I'm a big I like Plattsburgh. I love Plattsburgh. I like the area. I like how it's growing. And I find in the last couple of years, we're starting to see some cool things pop up that I think get people excited about the area. And I think what you guys are doing is really cool because, again, I've lived here my whole life, and now it's like the brightest I've ever seen it. And it's neat. And there's a few other people that have like little small ventures going on. Like that's a cool thing, and people get excited about it. Like the mobile coffee bar is one thing. Like Becky goes around and does it, and people get excited about it. I'm like, we've never seen it before, but it's a cool idea.
Right.
And it fits, and it's like it's a little bit of a growth aspect. So a couple quick rapid fire questions before we go. How much? What's our time, Amy?
3:53.
Okay, 2 minutes. We'll do really quick. Go through. How many books have you written? This is all stuff we're not going to get to, but I want to go quick if we can.
18.
18, and is Just Being Dolly your most recent?
I had one that came out last week. That's
So what's your most recent book?
With the artist Vincent Van Gogh with the Metropolitan Museum of Art.
Okay. Then have you guys done anything with the Plattsburgh State Art Museum?
Yes. What?
Pop art. We did the pop art.
Oh, yes. We did the pop art show, which is what my partner did with Amy. What was the name of the show?
Pop for the People.
Pop for the People. Yes. And I need more coffee.
That included artists from outside art with college students. It was awesome. And Andy Warhol. It was amazing.
And the Plattsburgh State Art Museum's collection. They have an incredible collection. And we might be doing something with them in the future, which is a secret. Right?
I don't know.
But any time to getting the community, the Plattsburgh State kids with the community, I think it's perfect.
We
That's
agree.
great.
Oh, yes.
And they actually, participated in some of our murals as well.
Yes.
All right. So, favorite artist?
Oh my gosh, how do you pick an artist?
I don't know. It's your favorite kid, maybe.
Frida Kahlo.
Okay.
I like the Hilda woman. What is it? Hilda of Unger. She was Swedish, and when she passed away, she didn't want her work to be seen until 20 years after she died.
Really?
And it's like really, really cool. It seems very contemporary, and I just think that's so cool. Yeah.
All right. Favorite style of art?
Pop art.
Yeah, I guess I would say like expressionist.
Okay. And which artist has had the biggest influence on you?
Probably. Gosh, that's so hard. How do you pick? I would say Matisse.
Okay.
I really love. I like maybe Paul Klee.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. And last two questions. Your favorite art piece, not of what you've done, but just it could be what you've done or someone else has done, but what's your favorite piece of art in the world?
Ever, like if I could take one home with me.
If you'd have one on your mantle.
Like put it in my pocket.
Yep. Sure.
That's
You can get
so
small,
hard.
shrink it down.
It's really hard to choose.
I feel like Van Gogh. I was looking at your photos. You get like the.
I have a lot of Van Gogh.
Van Gogh, a lot of like that bright, colorful.
I know. Okay, so I'll pick a Van Gogh.
You don't. Walk into Starry Night.
I don't want. No,
I'll
I'll go like not Starry Night. I'd like his bedroom, Van Gogh's bedroom.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go back to my roots in Philadelphia and do Robert Indiana's Love Sculpture.
Oh, that's a good one. Love.
And last thing before we leave, how can any artist find you guys?
Our Facebook page has all of our information. It has our mural map, so people can go check out all the murals, walk around. And I say that. And also Instagram. We're on Instagram.
Yep. Facebook and Instagram.
At Outside Art Plattsburgh.
Yes.
Outside Art Plattsburgh.
Perfect. Well, ladies, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you for
caring about the arts in our
know.
community.
I love it. I wish I was more artistic, but we have like some art. I have some local art in the office, and
Good for
one of the
you.
girls here likes to paint and do stuff. So she's
Wonderful.
no, I think it's cool. I like looking at it. I wish I could.
Yeah.
maybe
Come
when I'm-
participate next time.
Yeah. Let's make the town more
I will
colorful.
honk the horn and say good job, but I'll send some better artists than me. You don't want me to probably paint. I probably fill it in though. I probably make the fire guys going in.
Now we're gonna
Yeah.
find you and make you.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys want to find them, Outside Art Plattsburgh on Instagram and Facebook. Again, this is Julia Devine and Amy Gugliamo. Thank you, ladies, for doing this, and keep, like I said, keep brightening up Plattsburgh. It's gonna be a cool place because of it. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
that is episode 160 of the Galen Trombley Show. We're out. Thanks for listening to the Galen Trombley Show. If you want to reach me, you can go on Facebook at Galen Trombley, on Instagram at Galen Trombley, and on YouTube at Galen Trombley. The spelling, GaelanTrombley.